What's up everyone, it's Karthik with MoneyVest. So in this video, I want to introduce a brand new feature on our MoneyVest platform. This is going to be a huge game changer in my opinion because we've got so much data to work with and I will continue to make more updates. Our team is absolutely amazing and will continue to make new features available for everyone. And this is one stock that I will most likely be buying a lot of going into November. And I will be trading it most certainly post-election. And that is going to be none other than Nvidia. And the reason I say that is because this right here is going to be the brand new feature on our MoneyVest platform. Right now, it's still under beta testing, but we're eventually going to move it into production, which is going to be seasonality. And what we've done here is that we've also introduced the stock performance and seasonality on our platform. So what you can do now, you can go over to 3, 5, 7, or 10 years worth of seasonality for any stock in the US, over 17,000 stocks right now. You can pretty much look at how that stock has performed at different times of the year. So what we're looking at here is, let's say that if I go over to 7 years, I'm looking at Nvidia's seasonality for the last 7 years. So 2018, 2019, 2020, 21, 22, 23, 24. So that's going back 2018 to 24. You can also toggle this. So if you want to go back even further, 2017 all the way to 2023, go back even further. You can kind of play around with these, right? So if you come over to 5 years, now you're looking at the last 5 years. And what this is showing me is Nvidia is 80% of the times in November, Nvidia has been profitable between 2018 to 2022 with an average gain of over 8%. If I come over to more recent times, so if I include for 2023, that probability jumps to 100%. In other words, the last 5 years, Nvidia has never been it's never had a down November. It's always been positive in the month of November, 100% of the time. Seasonality is showing us. And November is also the time when Nvidia reports earnings because it is actually a little bit later compared to the rest of the market. And you can test this data. So you can actually come over here and take a look at Nvidia. This is the monthly chart that we're looking at. So 1st November falls on right about there. So we're up a little bit over 14%. That's November 23. Come back a little bit further. We are going to be over here, November 22, up over 25%. You go over to 2021, up over 27%. You go back a little bit further. So November 2020, up almost 7%. Come back even further. You're looking at November 2019, up over 7.9, almost 8%. And then let's come over to November 2018, which is perhaps the only time Nvidia was down by about 22%. And that's why when you include for 2018, the probability should drop. So let's go back a little bit, 2017. Now including for 2018, it drops to 60%. If I go to 2018 here, it is 80%. So 80% because of that drop, because we're also including for 2018. So you can do this with any stock. So for example, if you go over to Palantir, you'll be very interested to learn that Palantir has never in the last 3 years, it's not had a positive December. December has always been a red month for Palantir, and more so because Palantir just recently started pushing higher. So I was looking at Palantir as well. You'll notice that it's obviously been a public company since 2020. So it's been just over 4 years. It's actually been exactly 4 years since Palantir has been a public company, and it's not had a single December that it's been up. And on average, it's down a little bit over 13% on that month. October, 100% of the time. So 100% of the times, October going into next month, Palantir is a profitable month, or it's had a profitable month. And of course, it's up on average by about 6.5%. Now, I want to be very clear. Why did we create this? Obviously, historical performance is not indicative of future returns by any means. Just because it's happened in the past does not mean it's going to happen again. But in my opinion, I think traders, investors do look at seasonality because there are seasonal trends that play out in the market, in the business cycle, in how many contracts and how many customers and how much earnings and everything that is reported during that time. Why is it that fourth quarter tends to almost always be a very strong time for the market? Because it's also the quarter where there's a lot of holiday sales, there's a lot of consumer spending, earnings tend to be a lot better in those times of the year. And markets tend to push a lot higher in the fourth quarter versus, let's say, September or earlier in the year. So it's again not the end all be all indicator that I look at. Okay, just because Palantir is profitable or positive 100% of the times in October, that means I have to go all in on Palantir. Not at all. It's just another indicator that I can look at from a seasonality perspective to better guide my decision making when it comes to trading and investing in the market. You can also look at, again, like I said, any stock you want. You can go over to, let's say, Tesla, for example. Let's see what Tesla has in store for us. So you come down a little bit, and we've got a very poor performance October, November, December, last 3 years. Because, of course, Tesla has not really gone anywhere for the last 3 years. It's down over 50%. But if you include for 5 years worth of analysis, then we're looking at about 60% profitability, 60% probability for positive returns in October, same 60% in November as well. If you go over to 7 years, then we're looking at, again, 42%, December increasing to 57%, September is a little bit lower, 28.5%, with an average loss of about 3% for the month of September. If you go over to last 3 years, like I said, it's been a lot lower because Tesla has really not performed in the last 3 years. What other stock? What other stock can we look at here? Let's just go over to, let's see, Google maybe. Let's go over to Google. And now from a Google seasonality standpoint, let's go over the last 5 years. We've got October being 60%. November, 80%. That is pretty good. If you go over to the last 3 years, it drops off a little bit, 66%. September is pretty much 0% last 3 times. Google has not been profitable in the month of September, so just double checking this data just to make sure. That's why it's in beta, because we are testing it. Let's see, September 23, it was down 4%. September 22, we were down quite aggressively, down almost 12%. And then September 21, yes, also down over 8%. So September has, for Google, been not a great month. And so far, with going into the last trading week of September, Google is down. Google is down about 0.15%. So we'll see if it actually snaps this streak and if it can be profitable. If you come over to, again, 2021, 2022, 2023, still, again, very, very poor from a seasonality perspective. Going over to 5 years, again, it kind of picks up a little bit in October and November as well. So now you can pretty much look at seasonality for any stock. And you can also look at stock performance. So you can also kind of switch between seasonality or stock performance to see how the stock, tends to perform throughout the year, which times it actually dips below certain levels. So for example, this right here was 2020. Of course, Google dropped 20% and then of course had a very strong rally towards the end of the year. This right here was 2022, which we had the bear market in the entire market. Everything was selling off and Google pretty much closed down a little bit over 38% on that year. And then of course other years it's been slowly and steadily pushing higher. And you're also going to find 2024, actually if I bring over 2024 here, that's going to be in blue. So that's also going to be available. So far year to date up over 18%, which again you can see the September dip coming in. This was 2020. This right here was August of 2023, and this right here again September of 2023, so dropping down a little bit, and October pretty much forming that low and then pushing higher towards the close of the year. And this right here 2021 also seeing that dip a little bit lower and then pushing back up. So use this tool. This is available. I'm going to make it available here fairly soon. We're going to push it to production and it's going to be available to everybody on the MoneyVest platform. Play around with it because now you've got this new tool to look at seasonality as well. So I'm going to be trading Nvidia for sure in the month of November, just looking at seasonality here, which is incredibly strong for Nvidia as 100% of the times in the last 5 years. You go back a little bit further to 2019 to 2023, also 100%. It's not until once you start including for 2018 that it drops down to 80% for Nvidia, but the average gains have been very strong. So really the last 7 years, and if you include for 2023 here, it's about 71%. 2024, we're looking at well over 83% for Nvidia to be profitable in that particular month by an average of over 9%. So there you have it, new feature. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. And like I said, we're going to continue to include more features over time. And let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. As always, happy investing, and I'll see you all in the next video.